boy, 11 days, 11 days to Christmas. I'm kind of looking forward to it because I'm heading down to the down south to go with family. But as they always say, keep your family as far as you can until you need them. Um, this is webinar 434. Uh, what an awesome ride this has been. We have been just been killing it. But in the same presence, there's a lot of stuff happening as well. So let's jump right into it. This is going to be a very short and sweet webinar, I hope, and we'll get you in and out real quickly, but we got some things to discuss. Today's topics, we're going to talk about little things happening. You're going to see some things happening over the next couple of days, and I want to sort of set those out for you, exactly what's been going on. The DEX signals signal revamp. Yes, I know. This is so awesome. And then, of course, we have some requests from some of you to kind of help us out, and hopefully that you guys will be able to help us in this scenario process. I want to thank everybody that's in the chat room right now. We've got a good run of people in the chat room today. And then, of course, we're going to do our final thoughts for the day. So let's get jumping right into it. No risk disclaimer today. We are going to be showing some stuff, but I want to do a few things here and show you what's going on. Little things that are happening, right? We're building the DEX Trader system out, and as all you know, we've been kind of pulling away from the attention of some of the other things that are going on. We're still trying to keep all the mainline process happening: DEX signals, DEX indicators, but you also have to remember too, life gets in the way, right? I've had this stupid cold now or sickness, whatever it is, for almost 3 or 4 days now, and when I kind of go down, I feel like I just want to lay in the bed and not do anything. I'm like the worst sick person ever. My wife can contest to that. I don't know about you guys, but that's me. But at the same time, there's a lot of people involved, so it's not just me. So if I get sick, it's the whole world's not going to end, right? You all have a tremendous support system here. With Amy and Brian and Paul and Michael and Thor and all these great people that have joined forces to be here. Um, this is what this system has become, and how powerful it is to be able to have that. We've been building the DEX Trader system out. Now it's in its final development. I think I've showed some of. Have some of you seen it? Has anybody seen the DEX Trader system yet? What it looks like as it's a part, right? Here's it's like in 4 or 5 different pieces, right? So there's each page, each thing that we normally would have all together is sort of all spread out right at the moment. Here, let me show you what it kind of looks like so you guys can have a feeling of what the system is and what we're building out and what we're physically doing and why. It's just because as people that are part of this company, you should know what your and because listen, all of you that are here, whether or not you're with Dex Signals or what, you're investors in this process, right? You've come here to be a part of something to invest into more, and you're doing that. Okay, so whether or not you're going to use it or not, take advantage of it or not, it's because of people like you. So it's you have invested in this process. It's just going to make your life better. And we got some treats for you too in this solution, and I'll show you what those are in here in just a few moments. Let me get you over to that page. Do it again. Hang on 1 second. Put you right next to it. There you go. There. All right, here we are. Here's the DEX Trader. This is the website. Now, if you notice, it sort of looks like DEX signals and DEX indicators. Oh my God, can't these guys come up with a different theme? No, because we want to make it very simple for people to go from each one and not have a problem figuring out where everything's at, right? So the DEX Trader 2.0 series, here's some of the components that are put together right now. Now, these are what we call the position holders, right? For position only, FPO, right, as we call it in the design and programming. So for position onlys, we're just kind of, we're not really, it's not even an FPO yet. It's just for the process to see if it's working and how it's worked. And we do it in this fashion when we're building something out because we want this site, this part of it to work well by itself. And then make sure that each one of the other systems work well by themselves, right? And you've probably seen this a few times. You probably have seen no trades found, right? And there's a reason why, and we'll talk about that here in the revamp in that system here, because you'll get to understand what's been happening. So the DEX Trader system will have its chart platform, very simple, pretty cool. You'll have some easy to use signal systems in here. Or I'm sorry, signal systems. I mean indicators in here. They're right off the what we call right out of the box default indicators. All right, double stochastic, 50 EMA, 20 EMA, that kind of stuff, right? And we'll show you how to use all that stuff um, in the program for here. Um, but again, this is still phase one. So this is going to be sort of like a overglorified, really fancy dancy deck signals part of the process with some added features. Our DPC, which is and again, I disconnected the information to this system. So this is from 24 hours ago. So if you don't see a daily here, it's not running at the moment right now because we've had to disconnect it so we can give more power to the signals that are running right now. And I'll show you why that here in just a second. So we got our intraday signals, we got our daily signals, so forth. We have our DPC. Um, this phase one or 1.5, what have you, this alpha series that we've been testing is now all being put together. Okay, it's being put together into a housing structure that kind of looks like what the DPC looks like, the data processing center, right? You have these beautifully cut buttons and processes that make it very easy on the eyes. This sort of applicational look um, you'll also be able to pull up on tablet form and phone form here soon, and be able to, be completely mobile from that point with your charts, with all these things being able to be utilized. So pretty powerful. Now, if you're a Dex Signals member and you're paying a full amount of 147, and you wanted the Dex indicators as well, you add $50 to your thing, and then you can get Dex Trader as a reward as that as well. So you get all three for like 197. So if you're interested in something like that to help support what we're doing, then thank you so much. But check out with Amy in the online section here or Brian, and they'll get you set up with the proper links and everything else. If you wanted, ask them also, if you just wanted like just one system and the Dex Trader, let them know. If you're a customer already and you've been here for a long time and you said that, if you're buying in and you got this, you'll get Dex Trader. Check with them to see what your personal deal is. They'll look at your history and find out. I don't want to just throw a blanket statement out there, but we want to be fair for everybody that's been here for months paying and waiting for this. We want to make sure that you're going to get it for free to be able to utilize it. All right, but word of warning, if you're in training and you're doing this stuff, having this is going to complement everything you're going to do, but you also need to know that you still want to graduate and get through these trainings and get through these systems. Speaking of which, Dex Trader is going to have a very different way on training people than Dex Signals and Dex Indicators. In there, you kind of go in for free. You go learn the process. You get through. Once you're done, you can go to Signals anytime you want, right? In Dex Trader, we restrict you down to just learning. Okay, so you can actually come in as a free member and learn what the process is, but you can't go to the paid training until you finish that orientation in the very beginning. And then you can't go to Signals or the application until you pass the Signals training. Okay, so this will tell you what it is. It'll make you do a quiz on, what's risk management and make you sign off on all these things so we know that what risk management is, what money management is, that the signals are based on a range, that all these great questions that we get for those people that kind of skip the process, those hurry up and wait people. That's why we're designing this program this way. All right. So we're very excited about that. We'll answer some questions at the end here, just for a few minutes. You won't be able to log in just yet, Jim. So that's why we're kind of keeping that process. We will get you to that point. All right. Training people. We have been doing consults. The system has been training. People have been coming into the chat rooms and asking questions that are normally into training. If you're brand new and you're in this room right now, and you're asking very rudimentary, fundamental questions in the chat rooms and to the people in support, keep in mind that I know it's very difficult. We're going to be revamping a lot of the training on everything that we're doing, but you also have to know that do your due diligence, be patient with us. Okay, there is a lot of training on board that's getting you directed into what to do, but I'm going to be making a step-by-step procedure that's going to basically get you into that channel that you need to be to learn, right? Either in Dex Signals or Dex Indicators or Dex Trader. And these things will help gauge you in as being a trader on what you need. So it really depends on a few things. What do you want? What's your end goal? What do you want to be, right? What do you feel you can handle, right? Because you could say you want to be an astronaut, but if you can't handle the G's to get out of the atmosphere, it ain't no good, right? You're going to die only getting up there. But the point is that you have to find out what you're able to do and have a real conversation with yourself. Sometimes downloading software and getting the indicators on and learning whatever all that stuff is, that might be beyond you. But man, you're one hell of a disciplined individual and you can follow rules till the cows come home. Okay. So there's there's an onset for every single type of excuse me, hang on one second. There's a process that we have for every single person that is here. Okay. And those people that really want to make it work will begin to find where their home is by the education that we're providing and the learning system we're providing, doing the consults with me, sitting down, having a 30-minute conversation, 45-minute conversation with me. Okay. Absolutely free is worth its weight in gold, in my opinion, because I get to learn a lot about you. Okay. So the conversation you're having with me is not just for you, it's for me too. It's for me to get to know who you are so I can build these systems to make sure that you can fit into those. And I can hear things like, oh, I didn't know how to download, or I made a mistake here, or I can't figure this out, or there's an issue. We have one customer, his name is Anthony, great guy. I mean, absolutely wonderful, patient individual. Poor guy was going through trying to download the MetaTrader 4 system for DEX indicators. And every time he did, it would download DEX or MetaTrader 5. And I'm like, come on, it's real simple. Just go here, scroll down, and hit this. And he kept on saying, I am doing that. It wasn't until I got him on a remote access console that I watched him go through the process. And it turned out that MetaTrader4.com had inadvertently put a link into their MetaTrader 4 system with MetaTrader 5. And we're force feeding people all over the world MetaTrader 5. Okay. We wouldn't have known that if it wasn't for Anthony. We wouldn't have known that if it wasn't for a handful of other people that brought it to our attention as well. Okay. So then we had to sort of switch gears, go in and get a different MetaTrader download and get it all out there. So the consults are not just for you, they're for everybody. Because if I learn something about you, remember, there's other people with your mentality out there. So I can help develop these systems to build them even better or more people just like you. So meeting with me actually helps you and other people. Lastly, before I go on to the next one, I want to apologize to the people yesterday that I had to cancel because I was sick. I'm going to reach out to each one of you and try to get you in today and tomorrow to try to get to in getting that consult done. So I appreciate your patience. Issues with the indicators of MetaTrader 4, which I just sort of alluded to. That was all MetaTrader 4's network. So we had to find a solution to fix that, not for MetaTrader 4, but for you to be able to download MetaTrader 4 and be able to use it in your system. So if you're having issues with that going through MetaTrader Mayhem, now there's a new link in there for you to do that. We'll update the videos, we'll do all that stuff here, but it's the same process, downloading and installing. Okay, so real easy. Signals, issue, and losing. Okay, or closing. You're supposed to be closing. It's supposed to be closing. Issues closing. Some of the signals, if you've probably seen, let me get. Oh, okay, it's doing it again. And I'll tell you why this is happening right here in just a second. Um, our system is designed on a couple different platforms, right? Our website sits on one server, right? So this is DEX Signals. Our signal network sits on another server, right? So this is Signals. And our process center sits on a completely different network. Now, when you get a lot of people going to this and getting to DEX Signals, and they're going to the Signals page, they put a lot of pressure on this system as well, the signal network. Now, but this system is pretty robust, right? The process center is also involved, okay? Because the signals network makes a web page on its system, okay? And it calculates right now the way the system is designed. These pages that you see right here, let me get back over here, right here, okay? These pages that you see, how it says loading, is doing a calculation. So right now, it's doing a if I'm the only person who's watching this, is doing one calculation per minute for each one of these pages, okay, for just me. As in I sit here, so that's 60 calculations a minute. If I got two people on the page, that's 120 calculations a minute. Three, so forth and so forth, right? Now, every time it checks, it calculates the winning percentages and changes all the information, does all that. When we first were doing it, we thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. And it still is a very powerful, robust system. But because now we have over 1,000, 1,100, or 1,100 members in this network, and because we have a lot of people going to these indicator or the signal pages a day, we have found that the system, the way it is very robust and has a lot of RAM to be able to do it, but the processor is lacking and slowing down for that. So what we needed to do is the following. Now, right now, if you come to Deck Signals, you'll see that Signals page, which is framed out from this particular server. Okay, so on this server, you're visiting the server that calculates the actual process, right? Click that because it keeps ringing in my ears. But you're visiting the server that actually visits the process itself being done, and it does all the calculations here, right? What we're planning to do, we've already started to do, is that you come to Deck Signals, there'll be a certain code on Deck Signals that'll be the signals, right? But the calculation doesn't happen here on the page. It happens way over here in another platform that we call the API server. And this is where all the calculations and everything happen. And then the display happens here. Could we have done this in the very beginning? Yes, but we didn't realize what the load variation was going to be. We did some testing, short-term testing, but again, with 1,100 something people to the site and now Dex indicators and Dex signals and all that stuff hitting, we're getting a tremendous amount of people to the process. We need to kind of come up with a better system. This is the best way. Why? Because when somebody comes here to see this information, they're just seeing a display. And there's little to no load with that. When the calculation changes, it will send it to the page and it'll display here. No extra load. It'll do one call out to this page, but none of the calculations are happening here. So this is a really good platform to be able to do. Why? Because as this information is being sent out, no extra load is being sent to this Deck Signals page, but neither to any of the other things. We can have an app running, we can have a text formatting system running, we can have a phone app running, to where all the signal displays go to these different things, and will never ever create more load than it would take to run a website itself, just a small website itself. So we're very proud of what we've delivered. Now, this never existed before. We had to make it. We had to invent it. We had to think of it, right? Because all of you coming to the site and being a part of it started to show what this process really was, but needed to be. So again, thank you for doing what you do, going there and visiting the site and doing that. But I also appreciate patience. Okay. So there's been some small issues that have been happening that now we're getting figured out and worked with. Okay. So this is coming out extremely soon. Within the next 2 days, we should have this up and bugged out and figured out and done. So please bear with us. If you do see those, if you just needed to trade demo for the next day or so, then that's fine too. But just keep that in mind. Signals revamp. I just explained everything for the signals revamp, but it's in this graphic, right? So the biggest part of this signals revamp is that on Deck Signals, see, we're originally going to revamp the signals just for DexTrader, but you're going to get it also on Dex Signals as well, because it's very important for it to be right for you there as well. So you'll be getting that. Will you get the Data Process Center? The answer is no. You won't get the Data Process Center, but you will get the Signals page with its availability to do what it does now. Okay. All right. Like I said, this is going to be a short webinar today, but we're going to discuss a few things. One of the things I forgot to mention in all of this, because at the very beginning we talked about requests. Okay, I forgot to put that graphic here. In our network, there's always growth, right? Like when we started with Dex Signals took a year and a half to get to its glory, right? We've keyworded out for over 300 400. I think it's 400. I don't know if Ryan's here. Maybe he can tell me. I think it's 400 and something keywords, right? And a keyword or a long tail keyword, right? Like you can look up Nadex strategies or 5 minute strategies on Google or Bing or what have you. We've It's taken us a year and a half to get to an Alexa rating, which is a way for people to gauge your website and grade your website on popularity. It's taken us a year and a half to get to where we're at, right? Dex indicators just surpassed Dex signals, and I mean also with members and everything else, right? Dex indicators just surpassed it in 1.5 months. Not 1.5 years, 1.5 months. Why? Well, because the popularity for DEX signals was there. People were moving directly over to the DEX indicators as well, and it began to grow and enrich the population of people that were looking for real answers to binary options, to trading on Nadex, to trading with MetaTrader, to trading in general, taking the complicated and making it simple, those things, right? So I made this joke on my Facebook page yesterday that DEX Trader should take about 38 minutes, right? So we should get about 38 minutes. Dex Trader should be at that popularity or pretty quickly, right? But no, seriously, it should take a very short period of time, if not just as bad as did, but maybe even faster, 2 or 3 weeks to get to the popularity. Why? Because the necessity is here. People who want to trade with indicators and have a software background and want to do, they're easy on the eyes with background and software. Um, will go into DEX indicators. People who want the signal or why they're learning and doing the process will do DEX signals. But people who just want to button push, follow charts, have their indicators, don't want to download software, whatever mentality that is, will be going to DEX Trader. And this is where the real opportunity is for the company because the workhorse is here is the whole system. And as we bring more people on, you've seen what we've built with this little amount that we have. Imagine when we have 3 or 4 thousand people in paying for the system and what that looks like, not only for us, but for our senior traders, for the people that we're bringing on, the investment profit that we're doing as well. What, as a company, are we here to do? The big secret, folks, the big tell all is that if we teach you how to make money and we've been honest and we've been sincere and we have worked hard and we have developed and worked together to build what we have to build the Dex brand. Okay, what else can we build? Whatever we think, right? And if the rate of growth that we have gotten over the 2 years that we've been in business has doubled and tripled and quadrupled, wouldn't that make us a perfect person network to invest in? Because you know that the money that is invested in us and built into us, we will then make sure that we got good ROI and that we have the developers, we have the programs, we can build it. Dex Planet, Dan says, very funny. But it's absolutely true that the Dex mentality, we've already built a data center, we have all these wonderful tools. But there's other things. There's marketing programs, right? There is a radio network, not just a radio network, but a a news delivery process and directory network we call Our City Go Go. And in that network, it will give free advertising to local businesses to get exposure and to local bands who want to support their own music and do events without having to pay all these other companies to do this stuff. And we want to give it to them for free. But how do we make our money? How do we get our money out of that? Well, simply enough, we create these systems with their own affiliate network for the Dex family programs and just advertise our Dex stuff on it. And it returns money back to us. That's right, in the form of people working. And so this is a very powerful model because it gets more exposure out there about who we are, but yet also brings back a tremendous amount of opportunity for the Dex family stuff and the investment portfolio. Return on investments of stuff like that is huge. So if we are somebody who can do this, who do we turn to as investors? You. Small time investors, short term, long term, whatever you want to turn it into. Why? Because we've taught you how to make money. You go make the money, you invest it in the long-term things with us. It's huge. Later on, we'll have our PAM accounts up. We'll have Forex going. We'll have all these different things. We'll have stock and modelings, and we'll be going and getting our regulational stuff happening with our investment firm. There's a tremendous 401k, whatever we can think of, whatever we can think of. Can you imagine? I can, because that's why you're all here. We knew that we needed to create a network to be able to help as many people as possible, and that's what we're doing. But guess what? Once we help you, what's the next plan? What are you doing now? You're in making money, you're surviving, whatever, but you got to think of your future too. And that's what we're here for. So, um, the request that we have is that we're going to be putting an email out to everybody to go like us on Dex Trader for YouTube, get our Facebook page up, invite people to that process, help us get the exposure. Even if you don't feel, invite your friends and stuff to it. You don't have to, we're not telling you to invite them to buy into the program. Okay. I'm not telling you to do that. Just so you know, I'm not telling you to do that. But what I am telling you is to invite your family and friends to the Dex Trader page to see what you're involved in, to see what we're doing, to enjoy and associate with your life. If you don't want to, that's completely up to you. Just at least yourself go and like the page or subscribe or follow. Okay. That's very important. Why? Because every single one of you that has a social network or a profile is an anchor in the world of the internet. And that anchor point spreads out to multiple other areas. The more anchor points we can make with all of you, just with even like the 22 people that are in the room right now. Okay. Brian, I, and Amy made Dex Signals what it is right now. And about 100 people made it what Dex Indicators is. Imagine when we have 1,000 people doing it and have them going and liking and finding the pages and subscribing. I think we just hit 300 on our YouTube page for Dex Indicators. 299. Okay. 299. That's where we're at right now. I'm a little disappointed. So we're sitting at 299. So I want you to do me a favor. I'm going to put this link inside the chat room right now, and I need you to do me a favor. And we're going to do this live right now, right? Somebody here who has not followed or subscribed to us on the indicator or on indicators channel for YouTube, could you please go and just subscribe to it? I got to get to 300. I want to see 300 on the board before we leave today. And I really appreciate it. Right. So if somebody who hasn't done it, if you could please in the room go and subscribe to that so we could see us at just a little over 300. And that would be a really great day because that means that Dex Indicators surpassed Dex Signals in a month and a half on every avenue of social networking. Okay. Now let's get into the final thought here for today, and we'll get you out of here. Trading is an ongoing process. Very simply put, that you're always going to be learning. You're always going to be disciplined. You're going to learn things about yourself that you really don't know. I have the pleasure to be talking to and working with Michael. And Michael is a senior level 2 trader here. You see it in parentheses or in brackets by his name. And Michael and I have been training the last couple of days, and especially today, in delivering a way to breach the veil of going live, right? It's very difficult to go live into real money because there's a mentality behind it, right? Once you get into it, the real money is so much harder to spend when it becomes serious for you, right? It's so hard to kind of visualize. Now, a winning mentality and a losing mentality can kind of, even if you're winning or losing, it doesn't really matter. You can still get affected either way. Sometimes you could throw that ball in the air and it's the Hail Mary because you're winning. You think, let me throw 15 contracts on, right? But it's a constant learning process. Now, what does that mean for people like Michael? Well, that means for people like Michael that in a very short period of time from the 8th of December to the um, to the 12th or the 14th, so what, 6 days in doing one contract at a time can make $313. Okay, this is a live account. This is live. This is a live account that he's working on right now. Okay, so I wanted to be able to show you this because this is a tough transition for most people, right? Because it starts to get live now. It's real for you. Now you have to start saying, okay, every move I make will affect my future. Why? Because in this beginning part, he's trying to get to $800 here. Because at every $800 increment, folks, he adds another contract. So if he adds another contract from this point, you know, at this point each month, he's making $600 just for those 6 days. If he had four on there, he'd made 1,200 for those 4 days. Are you getting what I'm saying here? So every $800. So when he gets to 800, he gets to 1,600, he gets to what have you, right? Because he has 800, more than 800 in his account right now, but he's using this system to ramp it up as he goes. He's not just going on with 10 contracts. Let's be serious. And it's even all the way across the board. Each trade has only one contract. He's not going one on one and two on another and then four on another. He's not doing any hokey stuff like that. Now, are there mistakes made? Yes. In the very beginning, there's a couple of mistakes made. Of course, there's mistakes made. There's always something that happens that you may forget something, or you get excited, or you forget there's news, or what have you. But you pay for those. Okay. Still has a very good rate, a good success rate there. And what that is right now is 30 divided by 35. Very simple. 85% success rate. Now, could he have toned it in and removed some of the mistake? Absolutely. Could be doing 90% plus. But even at 85%, he still did pretty damn good for his 4 days. Right? Are you getting this? I sure hope so. Because as a member of Dex Signals, this is the same stuff that you could be doing. Right? People that are just starting out, people that are just starting to hit it, like Chi. All right. Chi started doing his 5 minute trades. This is the second batch of 5 minute trades from Dex Indicators. And here he is right here. And he started to do four. I think I think he's done this because he's ramped up to this point to do like 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now he's doing four instead of five. But that's okay because look at the success he's doing with 5 minute signals. And he's training here, right? Here he is, 102 trades with four signals on or four contracts on per $11,109. This is no joke. This isn't live. I don't think it's live. If she's in the room, please tell me if it's live or not. But I don't think it's live. But he's ready to go live. He's ready to take that transition now. Now he's ready about to go into 1 hour trades. And that system itself is going to be even better for him. Because once he gets to these kind of levels, could you imagine making this kind of money per month? Remember, because he started 12, there's 12.13. That's from last night. He started on 12.9 with the 5 minute trades. So you tell me if that's a good progression in learning. I think it is. Now, there's other people that have been here that are working the system, that are doing the trades from signals themselves. And it's working for them, working order people. We have a member, his name is Chris. I don't know if he's Chris Johnson. Yeah, he's elite. There he is, right there. Okay. And Chris is working the signal network, just working orders. When I asked him the other day when I was doing a consult with him, he said, "Yeah, I'm just doing working orders and intradays, and I'm up $3,000 from I started with 1,000, and he's doing live. He's working the system. He didn't know any better. He just kind of came in. He's found us on the internet. He bought into the program. He went through the training. He was somebody that I didn't do a consult with. He already was doing live. That's why I turned him into elite. Incredible individual. Very disciplined, though. Military background, has a strong sense of direction. He can follow direction very good. Remember, mistakes will happen. They're real and a necessity to learn from. But remember, you have to learn from them. And that's the tough part. As individuals, you want to make sure that you are focused on getting yourself into your demo and learning and building. If you're like Chris, then you have to follow the rules and be disciplined to follow the rules to such a point where it's painful. I followed the rules. I didn't trade during any times. I added the 2 pips. I did everything I had to do. I followed that signal. I put a working order and I lost. Natural loss. It's accepted. Another thing you have to do is that you have to put the blinders on, right? If you're learning to trade, if you're doing Dex signals, if you're doing Dex indicators, then you do Dex signals, or you just focus on Dex indicators. Okay. If you start doing Dex signals and you can add Dex indicators into it, yeah, that's a possibility because it's sort of the same mentality. But don't be adding some other company's, inno trades and 100% correct binary trade system. And oh, but I used your signals, but then I used a 50 EMA and a 20 EMA and this new indicator algorithm that I have because I figure if I combine your signals and them, that it would be no. Stop it. Just quit it. You're looking for some professional algorithm out there. DEX signals themselves, if you're trading working orders from the signal systems, from dailies, they may only fill between 20 and 30% of the time. Okay. But you get a 95 to, guess what, folks? 100% success rate of winning when it does fill. And I can say that. Why can I say that? I could say that because right on the spreadsheet, it shows you it the last 100 trades. You get a tremendously strong success rate when they fill. Some of you might say, well, they don't fill a lot. Yeah, that's right. That's when you add CVG, consistency plus volume equals goal. I don't need to go through that lesson with you. It's inside the network. Stop looking for all these things to perfect this number. Even if you're trading intradays and you're trading the process for you and you're doing 92% success rate, why are you trying to get 93? Why are you looking for another program out there to add to this to try to get to 95 and 96? It won't work. You have to just follow the system, right? Once you do that, once you're really into it, like Chris and Michael and other people that are in the network who are really working hard on the program, you now have to start to prepare your future. And that future is learning how to fight back the doldrum. Okay. It is boring as all get out to sit down and put a working order on and walk away, or to put a trade in and walk away. It's boring. Some of you are addicted to that 5-minute run or that 1 hour quick, 15-minute trade. You have this thing in cooking when you're folding compared to when you're beating. And some of you like to beat the stuff. You like to get in there and fight and manhandle it. And some of you just like to fold your stuff in and you got your thing going on. So you have to kind of figure out what type of mentality you are. But let me tell you right now, no matter how great you are at beating, you're eventually going to want to get to folding it in and making it happen. Because if you want to be successful, the most successful people that I know are the ones that do the most. They do the most work in the little amount of time that they possibly can do. The really successful people, they make more money by doing less work, by allowing the systems to do the job, by allowing the tools to do their work. The craftsman doesn't manhandle his work. He lets his tools do it. And that's what you have to learn at this point. Preparing for the future may also mean knowing what your goals are. And that's what you really got to set yourself into. Is learn what your goals are, because all the rest of the system will unfold to be able to provide that goal for you. Right? You'll learn that inside. All right. For all those that are watching this after the fact, I want to thank you very much for your time. And I really do hope that if you're watching this after the fact, that you do take that opportunity to go through all the training, all the solutions. Be patient. If you have questions, set your consult, get into the chat rooms, talk to Michael, talk to Paul, talk to Thor, talk to anybody you can get your hands on that can direct you, because they're going to direct you mostly back to training or to another system or give you a link. They'll help you out. And that's what we're here for. For everybody else that's in the chat room, hang out with us and we'll have a questions and answers real quick. I'm Max Farrell and this is DEX Signals. We'll see you next time and trade well.